up the heating and be like, let's go. Stick a exercise bike in the sauna. I'm gonna cut some weight, my boy.
And while he's doing that, show him the charges he's facing and see if he don't
read them out real slow, and then get someone to say them in German so they sound real menacing to him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get Harry to put his uniform on again and tell him.
Oh, bad. But anyway, as we poke fun at the man formerly known as Prince, we do have to wonder,
That's brilliant.
You know, if he's ever going to mention it. Honestly, a little bit of me wants an Udi with like one of those like Che Guevara style prints of his face with the man formerly known as Prince written.
Oh, we got to get that T-shirt done, mate. We got to. Yeah. Mind you, his face would probably burn my chest when I wear the T-shirt.
Prince A got his charm from Savile. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he didn't have the best five-a-side football team, did Prince Andrew. Savile and Epstein. I mean, Mandy, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Mandy, speak.
We can't hear you, Mandy. Mandy may be having technical difficulties right now. We'll give you a minute, Mandy, just to check your mic settings and all that good stuff. All right. Alternatively, we can try it on Discord, Mandy, if that would be easier for you.
What she's going to have to do is give herself... Oh, she's in, isn't she? That's right.
Yeah, she's here. She's just... I imagine she's sat in front of a computer or her phone, looking at it with a blank stare, panicking, pushing buttons, and trying to find... settings. That's usually...
Get one of the kids to show you, Mandy. They don't know what they're doing. She's got
he was sweating when Savile was chasing them around. Savage.
Brilliant.
Savage, Ruth. Savage.
Yeah, naked.
Probably. I mean, here's no joke as well. You got to keep in mind that an associate, a friend of mine who's part of a hunting team busted a painter last year or the year before. And this was a guy who lived next to Princess Diana, knew her children growing up, was a paid member of staff, and was a consultant to Prince Charles for 4 years.
Wow.
He was the real deal shoulder rubbing guy. And he then became an artist. He painted the Queen, he painted Prince Charles, he painted Diana, he's painted everyone, right? He's a real deal.
Okay.
But he was very chummy with Andrew. Chummy to the point where he would recount stories of them slapping each other's bottoms as they passed each other. And the reason that the team ended up on his door was because of his conversations with a 15-year-old boy. And this case was handed over to the police. There was something like 20 mobile devices taken out of this guy's house. He was bailed the same day and then driven back to his house by the police.
That doesn't surprise me. He's probably rolled. He's probably sung like a canary in there as well.
Nah.
No.
Someone's made a phone call.
Yeah, probably.
Someone's made a phone call and been like, "Oh no. You cannot.
You're getting bail." Yeah.
Right. Because this individual who caught this guy, she's got like dozens of convictions, bro. I think she got like 200 convictions.
Give him a medal.
She's serious, right?
Good.
And she's never seen a case. She's never seen a case handled like this. She keeps getting phone calls from the police saying they're going to come and arrest her if she doesn't take down social media posts about it.
Wow. Mind you, It's an open investigation, so it's probably not best to put up anything.
Well, that's true, but I think she had told the police that because of the way the case is being handled, she believed that it was being mishandled, and that's why she put evidence out, I do believe.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, they're not going to like that,
because she's never seen a case handled like this. And it's bonkers, right? Mandy, if you're watching, I'm going to go into the live call-in show server, and I'm going to go into the live room. If you can come and jump in the waiting room, if you don't have a link to that server, let me just see if you're in here. Mandy. Yeah, you're already in here. Right. Just jump into the waiting room, Mandy, and I'll pull you in and we'll do it this way. We'll go low tech.
Outstanding. She's a good girl, Mandy. She's she knows her stuff as well.
Oh yeah,
she really does know her stuff.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
It's awesome.
Oh, she's there. Right, here we go. Let me pull her into here. All right, Mandy, are you there? Can you hear us?
I'm here. I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Yes, we did it. We did it. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So we've been on today with Uber. We're talking about this note, delving into his analysis of it all. I think we can all collectively agree that this just feels like another sliver of misguidance to mislead the public through headlines to give people a sense that this was a willing self-unaliving that included a note, and it just seems to be a lot of shenanigans. So can you introduce yourself and then take us through some of your points if you can?
Sure, absolutely. So my education background, I'm a child and youth worker. So within that, I have psychology education, counseling, abnormal behaviors, at-risk youth, child abuse, topics like that. Aside from that, I'm trained in ASSIST, which is Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training.
Okay. Wow.
TCI, which is Therapeutic Crisis Intervention. CASey training, which is Coalition Against the Sexual Exploitation of Youth. CARE training, which is children and residential in residential environments, along with play therapy and mental health first aid.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Having all of that said, my personal opinion, I do not in any way, shape, or form believe this is a suicide note. In my opinion, it looks to be just bullet points that she was compiling to present to an audience in some form, be it a protest, public speaking engagement, perhaps a social media post. And the main red flag was the bullet points, the first thing I noticed. The second was the fact that she was addressing individual audiences who were not personal to her. So that was a big red flag. So I work in a group home setting, mainly with youth, and in my career, I have seen countless suicide notes.
That's what I was going to ask you, Mandy. Is there a theme? Pardon my sort of terminology here, that runs through notes, or are they very different from each other?
They can vary. Overall, the theme is usually one of despair, hurt, pain, and regret. I have never in my career seen a suicide note look this way. So it's, to me, it just doesn't add up. Not at all. Generally, suicide notes are addressing individual people that they care deeply for.
Does this look like a rallying call, Mandy? Does that look more like a call to arms than a departing note? Does it?
Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing, right? So, Mandy, I'm going to put a headline up on the screen because we've had you who have got vast experience with this tragic topic, first-hand experience, I might add, and Uber with his analyzing of the letter. All of that put together, okay? When you see a headline that says Virginia's family share her final letter before Epstein's victims unaliving. If you don't read this article, you are basically assuming that is an unaliving letter, okay? And
it's called priming.
Well, that's what I'm listen.
Analysis is called priming.
Let Ron cook, right? So I'm going to ask you both.
Sorry.
With all of this knowledge that you guys have, we have to assume that the newspapers are kind of aware of the power of words. What are they playing at with this sort of a headline? because sure, they're not directly saying unaliving note, but the final letter. So did she write a letter and then write a note? Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's the terminology. It's this weaponizing of headlines to convince a majority of a narrative that needs questioned. So first to you, Uber. What I mean, you mentioned priming. Take us through that.
Yeah, well, in statement analysis, hello, Mandy. Thanks for coming on, by the way. Sorry. In statement analysis, we call that priming. What it is like basically a title like this that automatically gives people the impression of something going on, like a certain something. So basically, by this, it's not without actually saying the word S or unaliving or departing. They've subliminally put it in there, a final letter that just says you, and then before Epstein victim's death, that puts right inside your head straight away. Oh, it must be a departing letter. So it's cleverly done.
Do you know what else I've started to notice, right? And you can call me paranoid if you will, but in my Android phone, I can swipe one way and it brings up news headlines, right? And some of them, when I click on them, there's very few adverts. And if the adverts are there, they're placed in a way that is non-intrusive to the article.
Yeah.
A lot of the time when I'm clicking on articles like about Virginia or cases like this, the advertising is done in a way that is almost off-putting to read the article. Okay. There's layers of these pop-up ads that you've then got to find a little X to close down. Then there's a part where you've got to expand the article, and then the adverts load faster than it. It's very weird because it puts you off reading those articles. Yeah. So just very quickly, Mandy, what's your sort of take when you start seeing cases that you interpret one way and you see, obviously the media has to push what they're given, but when they use terminology in headlines like this, what does that make you feel? How does that leave you?
I think it's a very much deceptive situation. No, they're not, saying that it's an end of life letter. But having that said, sorry, just hold one moment, please.
Yeah, you're okay. Don't worry.
She's probably being harassed.
She was probably getting a parking ticket for sitting outside a podcast.
Get a copper knocking on a window.
Yeah. We've told you about this, Mandy. Move on. You're blocking traffic. Too funny. But what do you guys think in the side chat? Because ever since I met Julia and I really realized what headlines, actually, I started to realize it when I met Paula and she taught me about what some papers will print about Meghan Markle because they like her and what others will print because they don't, and how they do all of this. And I thought Paula was mad, right? And then when I started seeing it for myself, I was like, oh, wow, we are absolute morons. And unless we actually do our own investigation, we are spoon-fed absolute pap. And it's like a headline that it'll be this shocking royal revelation. It'll be worded in one way, and then you'll find out at the end of this article that it was like a conversation that happened 5 years ago between two people in a courtyard that someone overheard. And
anything to sell papers, though, isn't it? Anything.
But here's the thing. It's not selling papers. It's on a screen.
Yeah.
See what I mean? No. Here's the thing. When it was to sell papers, they were way smarter than this. Okay. Because now that it's just digital information that scrolls past you for nothing, they are really going to town on the amount of adverts they can push out.
That's even more frightening.
Mandy, are you back?
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all right. We assumed that it was a police officer telling you that you couldn't park here. But yeah, no.
Blame it on the kids.
Blame it on the kids. So again, it's very misleading, and it almost gives credence to these corporations that seem to tie into cases like this and these powerful individuals and their ability to control narratives and to shape history in some context.
Yeah, Yeah,
absolutely. I do think that there's very much so a narrative being pushed here, and it's quite sad, really, because this is somebody's life that had been lost or taken,
Yeah.
whether willingly or not.
Here's another question for you, Mandy. We've had reports that after this had happened, there was boxes and boxes of evidence taken from our house. In cases like this, have you ever witnessed police boxing up evidence or in any way, shape, or form after something like this?
No. Personally, like within my personal experiences, which I have experienced this, there's never been a collection of evidence as such.
I imagine if they used pills, they'd take the pill bottle. If they used a knife, they'd pack up the knife or whatever. Same with a firearm. But that seems obvious, you know? That kind of goes with the whole situation. Maybe they would, maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they just leave it there for the family to deal with. I don't know. But it would seem to me that I would understand that. Like they come out with one little baggie and then the person, if that makes sense. But to have boxes of evidence seems like the police have came and robbed you after you've passed on, is what it feels like to me.
Well, I mean, what was getting me is if it was for evidence for something like this, why aren't forensics there? Why aren't the guys in the white suits around? Why are they taking stuff out? Normally they keep it in situ.
And if we've seen boxes come out, anybody see Virginia come out?
No, exactly.
Did the cameras just turn up? Sorry, on you go, Mandy.
I think if there's so much being removed, it's a collection and disposal tactic.
I just want to remind everybody as well that we're just three people on the internet having a discussion about our own opinions. We're not necessarily giving you guys any facts here. We're interpreting things that we've seen and heard surrounding Virginia's case. Do not take what we're saying as gospel. As gospel. We're just discussing. I mean, you can take Uber's analysis. I don't think there's much.
No, don't blame me. Blame the officers.
I can't see any lawyers coming after us for that. I think that's okay. I think you can take it as like 90% on the ball with his analysis. But just keep in mind that other than the one picture and Virginia's statements, as far as Prince Andrew goes, he's always going to plead his innocence. She was at the center of taking apart the largest transportation ring that we'll probably ever hear of. Now, Mandy, isn't it a bit coincidental that in 5 days, the biggest case of human transportation in Hollywood kicks off? And if you were going to send a message to anyone with loose lips in that case, isn't this a bit of a outstanding message to send?
Absolutely.
I mean, it really is. It really is.
Yeah. It's very much a shut up and behave.
Yeah. And
message.
I just want to.
Even you said earlier, Mandy, didn't you? You said that people's behaviour seems to be in line with compliant behaviour now.
Yeah. So when you had asked me why this narrative is being pushed, I truly do think that it's someone displaying compliant and or complicit behaviors. I couldn't imagine this being one of my relatives and pushing this narrative. It's so beyond mind-blowing.
Thank you.
And like I said to you earlier, Uber, anybody with a level-headed mindset with any type of insight could see through the fact that, you know, in my opinion, it's not an unaliving note. There's so many red flags within that.
Yeah. I don't even think it's part of an unaliving. And what apparently I heard that they found that letter amongst her stuff. So it wasn't in plain view. Now, if you think you're going to depart this world and you've got kids, you know, who are the first people you're going to address? You're not going to hide a note
your children
in your stuff. You're going to make sure it gets found, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And having that said, just as we spoke about earlier, Uber, the we pronoun and the future tense. If she wrote this within a suicidal mindset, or even within a mindset of having suicidal ideations, she wouldn't have used the word we. She wouldn't have included herself and her presence in future happenings.
That's the clincher, isn't it? The we pronoun in my eyes, in my opinion.
Yes, nor
and
would she have used the word start.
That's yes. Sorry,
somebody who's thinking about the end of their life will not think about something beginning. Aside from, of course, you know, say if somebody is ending their life to be free of pain and suffering, I mean, that would be a start for them. But aside from that, they're not going to speak of starts. It's going to
it's going to be ending, isn't it?
They're going to have expressive ideas and behaviors of endings. So being, you know, giving away their belongings, being overly affectionate and expressive of their love towards their family, friends, pets. You know, they may
because they normally overcompensate.
That insinuates they'll never see somebody again.
Yeah,
but they're most certainly not portraying the fact that they're going to be there in future times.
And let's not forget the fact that, you know, the very common practice of writing a letter in 2 bullet point formats, you know, like this is clearly part of a larger collective of information that's been wrote down.
Yes.
And not, you know, a complete letter.
No, it's just one paragraph, isn't it?
It's so beyond maddening. Now, I just realized the time. I've got an hour live that was meant to start 7 minutes ago. My guest has not arrived for it, so I'm just holding on for him in the studio.
Who's got coming on?
I've got Gilbert King coming on.
That's right. Yeah, I remember now.
And last time he thought it was American time that we were meeting at. And we got this locked in last night, but it was fairly late. So I'm hoping that this isn't going to be the cursed guest that will end up being like one of these third time lucky scenarios. For sure. Now, where do you think this is going to go? Because obviously we've now been told that toxicology could be 2 years. And I just think that I mean, someone did say who was out in Australia that kind of sounds about right. But do you not think that there's a sense of urgency on a case like this? And that we need answers sooner. Danny Henderson, how are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you know, the sooner we get the truth, the better. But we're being drip fed information, so that in itself is a red flag because, you know, it seems like somebody wants us to follow a narrative. So that automatically gets my attention. Why do you want us to follow that narrative? Why don't you just, you know, want things to come out as they are? Why are you pushing this story? You know, and there's an awful lot going on that we're not going to know, mate. But I tell you what is going to happen. People are going to take an extreme interest in this. And I think it's opened a very, very big can of worms. I think you're going to get a lot of people interested.
Well,
and this platform itself is helping putting that message out there as well. So.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind, this platform, when you join it, it's kicking you off. You're not getting notifications. You're not getting notifications about the live streams and that. Like they're doing all they can to be
Ron's like, on it today. You're sharp as a race it, Dave.
I'm just saying, like, you know, it's great if you have the survey to check the Shaun Attwood channel every day and go, oh, I need to come back here at 5 o'clock.
Every 2 seconds.
Back here at 5 o'clock, you'll know. But YouTube just goes, oh, Shaun's going live. Should we tell everybody? You know that thing that's in the terms of service that we say we'll do for you putting content on the platform. Honestly, honestly, I love you, YouTube. If you're listening, I love you. Please notify our subscribers. Thank you.
But I mean, it's like you say.
Yeah, exactly. So
thank you so much for coming and joining us, Mandy. It's been brilliant. It's great to have, you know, a qualified person's insight.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you both for having me. It's been a pleasure. I do have to run. I have taxi services.
No problem.
Hanging
around in car parks again. Yeah, we know. So.
Well, I just want to say to Mandy before you go, I'm working on a thumbnail right now for Shaun that says Jeffrey Epstein's niece, MK Ultra survivor ? So I don't know when this is for, but this is going to be a banger, an absolute banger.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I will be looking.
Yeah.
I'll definitely tune in.
So now I'm still waiting on my guest arriving. I'm just going back in to make sure there's no updates. Okay, I did send it. I did send it to Gilbert's email. Yes.
I hope he's all right.
Did I send him the right link? Yes. See, doing my job, Mr. Attwood. I know you're watching. I'm doing my job. So I don't know what's going on there.
Hello, Shaun, if you're watching.
All right.
Jen, if you're watching.
Oh.
All right, guys. You guys have a great day.
Sorry,
right, all right, man. You take care, sweetheart.
Thanks, Mandy, for being here, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Peace. All right. So, yeah, that was a good show, getting Mandy's insight on that. Oh, man. I can't wait to find out what's happened to Gilbert this week. It's literally the same thing as last week.
So what does Gilbert do then? I don't think I've caught him before.
He is a Pulitzer winning author, and he's now got a podcast called Bone Alley, where he looks at cases of like injustice and cold cases and all this kind of stuff.
Outstanding.
We have Danny as a guest. Danny and we'll have a show. I need to get back to Danny, if I'm being perfectly honest. We're meant to be having a conversation this week about this, but this week's running out. But Danny Henderson in the house, people. Now,
hello, Danny.
So, yeah, exactly, Danny. So, what next? I don't know. Oh, hang on, I need to save this thumbnail. I just don't know. It's a case of sitting back now and just waiting on seeing what the next nugget is that comes out from the media. But really, at this stage, what do they feel like there is left to give us? Right?
Yeah,
they've put out the final letter. We've been given a story of herself unaliving. Don't worry about it. You'll find out the toxicology report in 2 years, guys. Definitely not being prolonged in some way so that the hype about her death dies over in the slightest. And it's
or you could just keep drip feeding all this piffle, and the more you talk, the more the truth will find out. You'll see it in your language, mate. So just keep chatting, innit?
I swear to God, Piffle was the name of a kids' TV show character that one of my kids used to watch.
Was it?
At Mr. Piffles. I'm pretty sure of it, yeah.
Oh, that's
a great word, man.
Yeah,
do you know, Kaza pulled another one out of the vault of things that no one says anymore and told me that she was going to malky me. And I was like, wow, that is some 1988 Scottish terminology right there. So yeah.
I've heard scoosh. I've heard a few Scots say that. Scoosh.
Scoosh.
Flames are scooshing at the back.
Oh, yeah. He's a scoosh of that.
No, Flames are scooshing right out.
Come saying. So again, I'm obviously going to keep covering the Virginia story.
Good.
But they need to give me something. Like they need to put something